Hello.
Oh,
Ha-
hi. Oh,
yeah.
Whoa.
wow.
Happy New
expecting
Year, you
that.
guys. Yeah. Happy New Year. Glad to see
Happy
you.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Woo.
Yeah. Welcome to I Tried to Eat My Phone. Always as joined by Todd and Mike and
We
Yeah.
made it. We made it to
Yeah.
2021.
and
We're stumbling
Barely.
in. We're really stumbling in, but we made it.
the good thing it's a slow news day today.
We're stumbling in with
right.
about 6 vodka shots in us and
Oh my God.
our shoes on the wrong feet, but we're getting there.
Some guy on Twitter today said, I think Pat Oswalt retweeted it, and it said something like, remember 2020? Wasn't that great?
We'll complain about anything. Remember when all we had to worry about was just staying in your house and not dying from a pandemic? That was cool.
Making sourdough bread.
Yeah, that was fine. Just figuring out the right salt ratio in your sourdough. That was like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah.
I know,
wondering why so many people are at Costco. Like,
Yeah, right. What are you all doing here?
why are you? I thought I was the only guy that was supposed to be here. Why are you all here? Anyway,
That's that's what my mom used to say. We would go like to the mall when I was a kid or something, and my mom would be like, it would be snowing or something. She'd be like, what the hell are all these people doing here? I mean, we know what we're doing here. But what are all these people doing here? Like, go home. It's nasty
100%
out.
with your mom. I do that too. You're driving on an icy street. You're like, what are all you people driving around here? This is ridiculous.
The whole idea of us going out in the bad weather is so no one else would go out.
Right. Come on. This is ridiculous. You all the same idea? No, you didn't.
Did you have a good Christmas and New Year's?
Pretty good. We went to Florida.
Oh yeah. Wait, you said you had some stories.
Oh yeah.
Mikey went
Not
to
to put
Florida,
you on
then
the
complained.
spot, but-
Mikey went to Florida, then complained that all the people were there. What are you all doing here?
I know, right?
I thought we were the only ones that are going to venture out to Florida. This is ridiculous.
What the hell, people? Sunshine is
Still waiting
only
for my-
reserved for us.
Yeah. Mikey's getting ready. He's like, listen, girls, we're gonna have the run of the place. The beaches will be open.
No one anywhere.
No one there. No one is as insane as we are.
No, it was like spring break, basically. I mean, there was people everywhere. There was a wait in every restaurant every night.
Really?
I mean, it was busy. It was busy, but it wasn't terrible. We had it was such a 2020 start to the vacation though. I mean, you would not believe the nonsense we dealt with going down there. So we actually had booked flights, but like 3 days before we were going to fly, I got an email from Southwest saying basically like, remember when we said that all the middle seats would be empty? Well, surprise, there's going to be people in them.
3 days before you.
Yeah.
I love they just found these people wandering around the airport. Hey, you're going to get to Florida? We got a middle seat.
With your name on it.
It's between two Norbits, but it's middle. It's good.
Oh, no.
It'll be fine.
One guy's going to talk mostly about the Bears. It's really going to be a lot of swearing. It'll be fine. The other is his daughter. She'll mostly be on her phone. She won't like you. It'll be fine.
She won't even look at you. So we decided to drive. And
I didn't know you drove.
20 hours. It was an adventure for sure.
Yeah.
We got 30 minutes in and I already was like, oh God, are we really doing this?
I didn't think this through. I really didn't think.
I know. I'm like,
I didn't even bring any water. This is awful.
I said to Jen, I'm like, it's not too late. Like we're only going by Midway right now. We could just get on a plane. No. So we decided we drove and we actually left on Christmas Day because that's when we were going to leave anyway. So the plan was to leave Christmas Day, spend the night in Tampa and then drive a couple of hours down to Sanibel, which is where we ended up going. But we left at like noon on Christmas Day. We got pretty far driving. We got all the way to Atlanta that night. But one thing that we did not factor in at all is that nothing at all is open on Christmas Day. Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh sure.
Including, any restaurants, any fast food restaurants. We're like, oh God, it's only 6 o'clock, McDonald's will still be open. And we get off, and there was only one restaurant open. It was a Hardee's, and there were like 30 cars, literally, like out the parking lot, down the street, waiting for the drive-through at Hardee's. And we're like, well, forget this. Like, do we really
Have those people been there since the 80s? Because I think that's the last time I ate at a Hardee's.
How about it? Right? I mean, we're like, oh my God,
you got to go to the South. If you get into the South, it's some weird places. Okay. It's a weird place to start pumping up. I know this mostly because of my watching of football bowl games based in the South and sponsored by Southern companies. Because I'm like, Zaxby's.
Yes, we tried Zaxby's. We did it. We hit Zaxby's on the way down and on the way back. And
is it good? I want to try it. I'm like, what is this Zaxby's thing?
It could have been Chick-fil-A. It could have been. I mean, people love Chick-fil-A. I don't.
Chick-fil-A is a sponsor, Mike.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. No, they're not. Yeah.
I meant to tell you, I've been having some discussions with the chicken people.
Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's. There's a third. What's the third one?
Carl's Jr. No.
Popeyes. Carl's Jr. Maybe. I don't know. They're all like, it's all fried chicken. I mean, it's just, it's all it is. Yeah. So anyway, but we hit this rest stop in Kentucky at like, 8:30 at night or something. And of course we walk in and there's no one wearing a mask. I know. No one's wearing a mask in the rest stop, the truck stop store. And then we come out, we get in the car, and I look back and Olivia's like staring. She's like, I hate this country. And I look out through the front window, and this guy's like standing there in front of the car with a huge like handgun strapped to
I'm just going to ask you if like people had a lot of visible handguns.
Yeah, I mean, it was right there. I'm like, oh, you got to be joking. Like seriously, on Christmas night, we got to be like packing heat. This is
well, Olivia. He loves this country, so I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I think I dressed up, and he loves this country.
So it's just like, all right, come on. So we get down to Sanibel. First night, we order a pizza. The guy shows up like an hour and a half later, with the pizza. We had ordered 2 pizzas. He knocks on the door. I open it. I'm like, how's it going? He's like, I've had much better days, man. I'm like, you're delivering pizza.
I didn't mean literally. I just said it. I don't even know. I don't really care.
Life can't be that
really
bad.
How is your day?
The way this is supposed to go is I say, how was your day? And you go, fine. And then we exchange pizzas and then we leave.
I don't need to know how many times you flossed or what. I don't know what's happening here.
So he's like, I only have 1 pizza. I don't know why, how, but you ordered 2 pizzas. I only have 1. And I can't go back and get another one because it'll take another hour and a half.
I like how he fesses up to the problem right at the door. He's like, before you even go any further, I'm going to tell you, I am 50% low on your order right now. So what do you have to say about that, Chicago?
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? It's warm and it's a pizza. It's not warm actually, but I'll pretend it is. So we'll put it in the microwave. It's fine. And that was that. And then the next night we went out to dinner, and we're sitting there, we'd made our order. We ordered like alligator tail or something ridiculous. And we're sitting there waiting. We're waiting. And we see that our waiter starting to like kind of make the rounds, telling people, having conversations with them. He finally kind of ambles over to us and says, well, basically the whole computer system at the restaurant went dead.
You're not going to believe this. You ordered 2 alligator tails. I only have 1. I only have 1. I don't know what someone doing.
Everything in Florida is at 50%.
Right.
That's how they keep
I have
us
2 handguns, but I only have 1.
Yeah.
Only 1 works.
Okay. Sorry.
So he's like, yeah, the whole computer's on the fritz. The kitchen hasn't delivered any food to any table in like 45 minutes. We have no idea what's going on. You could go somewhere else if you want, but I don't think anything else is open. So
I don't know what's going on. There's a door. You could just go in like from this place. There's a place where the people are, and then there's a place where the kitchen is, and there's a door. It's not locked or anything. You can just go in there.
Yeah, you might actually talk to them. You're allowed to talk to them, right?
There's usually like a window, and you could like look in, and like, are they sleeping? Are they dead? And that would tell you pretty much what's going on.
So
sorry, continue.
And so we were just like, well, if nothing else is open, I mean, can you still give us food? And he's like, well, I think so. I mean, hopefully it'll come out eventually. Yeah. So we're like, all right. So we're like, all right, we'll just sit here and eat. It's fine. It's, we don't have anywhere to go. We're on vacation.
Yeah, you're on vacation. You're in Florida.
We're on island time.
The guy's got eyes on the prize though. He's like, you will get food at some point. I mean, they're like, that's the end game. I don't know when, but
yeah. So that was like the first 48 hours of our trip. And
oh man,
Jen and I are like, are you like, okay, this was a really good choice for us to drive 20 hours down here. And
yeah, but this is the benefit of vacationing, like taking a trip during quarantine. Like at some point, anything's better than like the same, like, wall you've been looking at for the past 10 months. You're like,
oh, right.
I don't care. I'm sitting in a different chair with a different glass in front of me, looking at some other kind of TV. I'll stay forever. I don't care.
Totally. Yeah.
wow.
That's impressive that you guys drove it through.
And then we were in, I think, building G. So we were at like a condo complex. And I think building G was
you were in G?
G. Yeah. I think G was the last one.
That's the bad one.
And it was the only one to have the fire alarm go off.
Oh, God.
3 times. It went off 3 separate times. And each time it was like someone cooking and like a little oil, created just the tiniest bit of smoke. And then every alarm in every condo unit started blaring. It was like, we're just like, all right, 3 times. And like, I mean, the first time we're like, oh my God, the whole building is on fire. We have to get out of here. And then by like the third one, we're like, all right, this is.
You're under the blankets. You're like, I'm not getting out. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that was Jim and his stupid popcorn. I know it was. I'm not getting out.
We went out shelling one morning and came back and Jillian stayed in bed and we came back. She's like, yeah, the fire alarm went off. We're like, did you get up? She's like, well, I went outside for like 5 seconds and there was like one other family out there. And so I just went back in, went to bed.
There's no visible fire. So
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked to my left, I looked to my right.
Flames were not leaping out the window.
Yeah.
So
yes, right.
Back to bed.
I have to agree with her.
Ladder over the ledge.
Yeah, if I'm in bed, I mean, it's a big ask. You want me to go out like all the way outside?
Yeah, that alarm was loud though. Believe me, I mean it was like deathning.
Oh man.
Oh, that's a good time. Wow, that's impressive.
Sounds like a great trip, Mike.
So sort of like Griswold. You stopped once. I was gonna say that's a full on like Griswold trip, but
2020 Griswold. It was all, every bit of it.
You got to round out the year with like, just gotta complete it the way it's intended.
Yes,
exactly. You tell like the pizza guy, like I'm getting through 2020 with or without you, pizza man. So drop off what you got. That's it. We're moving. We're keeping going. I don't care.
Oh, man.
That's a total Griswold. Like we're gonna have so much fun.
Yes, right.
We're going to
enjoy ourselves. Damn it.
We're gonna really enjoy this one single pizza, like way more than you know.
That is, you get a piece and a quarter.
Yeah, because after an hour and a half, you haven't been starving.
Wait, have I ever told you guys a story about when we drove back from New York one time when our flight got canceled? And so this just reminds me, you were talking about how you like stop at these weird rest stops. Like, so the kids are like, I think they're like 2 or 3. Ooh. And our flight gets canceled coming back from New York. We were there for a friend's wedding and we did this whole thing. We're trying to come back. We booked it. It was like we were coming back on Monday night. Tuesday morning is tax day. My wife's a tax attorney, and the flight gets completely canceled. And they do one of these like, we don't know when you'll like, we don't know. They didn't put us on like, they're like, that's the last flight tonight. All the rest of them are canceled. Are we going to be on one tomorrow? We think so. We'll let you know. We're like, oh, okay. It's like 5 or 6 o'clock. Right. And so we're like, what do we do? And so Leanne's like, it's tax day tomorrow. Like I have to be back in the office. Like I have to be there. And I certainly can't be like sitting in an airport. Like, I mean, I mean, we were centered at a hotel, maybe like, I can't be like just sitting in an airport twiddling my thumbs. So we get this bright idea, like to drive back. And we're like, we're just going to drive it. And I was feeling like at that, like 1 30-second time period, I was like, we could do this. We could drive it. And so we rent a car. And start driving. Anyway, the point of the story is repeatedly, we're driving through the night, basically to Chicago. So repeatedly on the toll road in like Ohio and Pennsylvania, you would see a dad, like a grown man carrying like a small toddler in his pajamas at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday through a truck stop, like trying to go to the bathroom. And I'm sure people are like, he has to be kidnapping. Like that's definitely a kidnapping. I would get back to the car each time. I'm like, I get back to the car each time, and I'm just like, if you saw that, like if you were like a guy and you'd be like, there's just a dude and he's carrying a kid and he's in his pajamas. He doesn't look like he was, ready to go out, and it's 3 a.m. and it's a Tuesday.
Yeah. Right.
Like I'd be like, something's going on.
Was his hair like,
Oh, totally.
His head shaved and,
he's all
like,
drowsy.
Yeah.
He's all drowsy, like I'd give him too much cough syrup or something. And like, it's fine. Just don't. This is also the trip, by the way, where I believe this is also the trip where we get to said rest stop bathroom and put my son down. And, of course, the younger they are and the more you don't want them to touch anything, the more they touch everything.
Oh God. Yeah.
And so at one point, my son, I put him down for a second. I turn like in the stall, like I turn away to like prepare things, and I turn back and he's got both hands on the bare toilet seat. Like he's kind of getting ready. Like he's like this. Like, and I'm like, oh God, like
Perfect.
I'm like, I come back to the car. I'm like, we're gonna need all the hand sanitizer, all of it. Just put it all in.
Yeah. Well, you were just preparing for now, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes,
right. It's just right. Then that's how you get the volume turned down on your germophobia as a young parent, right? Like you see that thing a couple of times, things like that, and then by the time your kid's like, eating a Dorito off the floor, you're like, please, like a Dorito.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. 7-second rule.
come on, like you could throw that thing in the street. I don't care. I mean, put his hands all over a rest stop toilet. What does it matter?
That's like a permanent, like the permanent germ right there.
That's why they have such.
Nothing else can top that.
That's why, knock on wood, we haven't gotten COVID. Their immune system's built from that trip. That Ohio rest stop really.
Who needs vaccine? Just go put your hands on rest stop toilets.
Got to do it before age 3 and not get caught by the police. I'm sure the police are still looking for us. Drowsy man with flip-flops carrying a boy in Spider-Man pajamas through a rest stop in the middle of the night.
When you see the milk carton with his face on it,
Yes.
it's time to.
He didn't even stop for a Starbucks. He just went right through. It was weird.
Yes, road trips are always great.
How about you, Karen? How about you,
Karen? How was your?
It was good. Yeah, we didn't do too much. Like just kind of hung out here, and the girls they both asked for roller skates for Christmas.
Sweet.
Which
like
come
roller
in handy.
skates, not roller blades. Like
no, roller skates. So,
in,
what's great about them is they're very handy for 2 reasons right now. One is our driveway in Seattle goes like this.
Perfect.
And then it's winter. So
you get going like 67 miles an hour right into the street at full speed.
They're very excited about the roller skates, but and of course no roller rinks are open here at all or anything like that. For a while, one of them was open, like where you could make a reservation and go. And I was like, dude, that'd be awesome. The whole roller rink to ourselves. Like I'd pay like $100 for that. Just, go for like an hour and just be like, give me some Missy Elliott, and let's go. Like I'm ready. Like
I'd like to rent that for a number of occasions. Like just even if you don't have roller skates, you guys want to run around in a circle in here?
Yeah, just go nuts.
Go.
So instead, the new roller rink is our kitchen. So, which
That's
much
awesome.
to the chagrin of the dog, she's not real sure what's going on. But our kitchen is not that big, but it's long, and so the table gets moved over every day. The rug gets pulled up from the sink, and then there's just this like
Yes,
back and forth.
absolutely.
Like these poor kids.
Are they
Like,
doing
it's
the whip
most
where they get one behind them and they like whip them out front?
Yeah, the fridge has the heads in it now. So yeah, no, no, it's just funny because you can see the way our house is set up. You could from the living room. You can see down into the window that looks in the kitchen. So I just see like,
Just heads.
like back and forth, like just heads just kind of rolling along, like and then coming back. It's like the old, stairs routine. Like, I mean, it's just so yeah, that's kind of so
That's awesome.
the roller skates are great. And eventually, when it's a decent day, we can go. We have a nice park over here that has like a skate park where kids skateboard, rollerblade, roller skate and stuff. So we'll go over there when the weather's
So they've only
not raining.
So far, have they skated in their lives at a roller rink? Like did it?
Yeah, a long time ago, Maria had a birthday party at one.
They have
stuff,
like,
but,
so I was like, wow, if you introduce them, if you go from like, school parking lot to like roller rink, they're gonna be like, whoa, this is awesome. Look how smooth this is.
I know, right?
Well, the good part about relearning the skill is that there's the counters in the kitchen were a nice thing to grab onto. That's just true. To get kind of going. Now they're both zipping back and forth. So, we're ready for prime time after this. But
I think you guys, I think you guys should extend just put some plywood down all the way through, like a little plywood trail through your house, over the carpet, up the stairs. It's fine.
Remind me not to have them see this podcast. I don't need any ideas.
You buy them like the pads and everything too. That'll be the next purchase, right? And they can work on their roller derby moves.
Yes, they have some from their scooters. They've got like, the helmets and the.
Wait, are they wearing the helmets in the house?
Wrap.
Do you make them wear the helmets in the house?
Oh, of course. No, of course not.
Because your visual of them going by the screen is even better if they're wearing like a big helmet.
Yeah, I should. Or just, yeah.
And hockey gloves. They're just wearing a helmet and like hockey gloves. I
should install some like neon flashing lights in there and like
seriously, just play like some disco music and
Bridget goes in with her wireless headphones on and like skates back and forth for a while.
There are some sweet there are several TikTokers that's like what they do is they like roller skate around.
Yes,
like,
we did watch a few videos, and one gal from like one of the roller derby groups around here has an instructional video. I can't
remember any of their names, of course. But.
So yeah.
There are some people.
Once my girls start inventing their names for roller rink, then we know we're taken care of.
I think you should open a roller rink and rent that kitchen out. Move some stuff.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Just like 15 kids, just
make a little panda.
One line,
Yeah.
Some mattresses on either end.
When the pandemic's over, that'll be my goal. So
2022.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. So I was thinking we'd talk about 2020, and I sent you the top Google searches. I had fun looking at these. I'll be honest, there were a lot of them I was like, I have no idea who that person is, which I did force myself to look up a few people that I didn't know who they were.
That's what's so fascinating about this list. It's like person I know, have no idea. Person I know, who is that? That's just that's not even a person's name. That's just a description. Like,
and it's amazing too how some of these things could be so high on the list with like 1 week where it spikes, and then the rest of the time it's like absolutely at the bottom. It's like 0, and you have one little moment where there's like totally 15 minutes of fame or interest or whatever, and that puts it on this list for the top searches. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I like watching how so they categorize them, right? So like obviously a lot of them are what you think they'd be, like top news, top searches, top people. It's Biden and Kamala Harris and pandemic, and then you get down to like there's the whole section on babies. There's a whole there's like a section. There's like a section about like lyrics. It's like whatever.
Can I just say, by the way, like I cannot believe that Baby Yoda was not on the babies list. Like that blew my mind. Like what is Baby Nut? And how is that more popular than Baby Yoda? right? I mean,
Baby
come on.
platypus. Baby platypus number 2.
Yes.
That was
Baby
pretty cute. I did look up baby platypus. I was like, why is that on this list? And it was a classic case of like the spike. And I have no idea why. Do you know why it spiked in like February?
No clue.
I
No
assume a
clue.
baby platypus was born somewhere. Probably near your
Just
hotel
one.
condo in Florida. But
I think they're indigenous to
Yeah.
Sanibel and Captiva.
It was on the menu at that restaurant that you went to.
Oh God. We have gator tail and platypus, baby platypus.
Now it's a baby. I'm sorry, but we just ran out of adults. You guys ordered 2, so I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I will say that was the one that I started. My first one that I looked up was Elon Musk's baby, because they named it this totally bizarre combination of letters and numbers. So it's X, and I was going to look up what is that called? The symbol that's the AE.
Like the AE. It's like I don't know. I
don't know what the actual term for that symbol is. And then after that, A-12 Musk. So I guess so.
Prince.
Part of the issue was that the state constitution in California said that it has to be of the 26 letters of the alphabet.
It does say that?
Technically. It does say that. The 26 alphabetic characters of English are only what you can use.
I disagree.
So
I disagree.
Ridiculous.
So I think they had to do some modification.
That's why Prince lived in Minnesota.
Yeah, anything goes there.
He's like, we just do whatever you want. California.
So this is the breakdown. So the X is for the unknown variable. This is from, first of all, his wife's name is Grimes. So, I mean, Grimes and Elon, you're not going to name your kid Jeff. So unknown variable. Yeah. And
only ironically,
Jeff Musk.
Jeff, but ironically.
Yeah. I think their dog is named Jeff.
Right. Jeff. No, I'm talking about my dog. So X, and then the AE is the Elven spelling of AI for artificial intelligence.
The
so
olden spelling. Okay.
Back in the
olden times.
It's the ancient Egyptian artificial intelligence.
When they started thinking about artificial intelligence back then. And then it also means love in Japanese. So, which is interesting. I didn't know that.
Maybe, or they asked like one of those people that put those tattoos on the
right. This means this, right?
On the drunk 19-year-old girls.
Yep.
That says nigiri eel sashimi.
And then the A-12 is the precursor to the SR-17, which is their favorite aircraft. So it has no weapons and just speed. So it's not a violent
What's your favorite
aircraft.
What's your favorite aircraft? That was the first thing he asked on the first date. He's like, tell me, what's your favorite aircraft? I mean, it doesn't have guns, does it? Okay, thank God. And are you into ancient AI? Like old time?
Like Elven spellings?
Right.
That...
Are you into a name that no one, that is close enough to the letters that people want to pronounce it, but far enough away that people can't pronounce it?
That's true. I mean, could you imagine the discussion to get to this as, a name?
Yeah.
Like I could see, I mean, we've all had these conversations, right? Oh, whatever is, it's a pretty name. Clara is a great name, or what about Joseph, or, whatever. And I mean, I can only imagine that they could not. I mean, how do you get to here, right?
And
I mean,
where do you stop? Like, at what point are you like, all right, we've got like the 9 symbols in a row. Like, you want to go 10?
Yeah, right. I mean, there's got to be some way. Like, maybe this is a combination. Maybe they, one of them wanted just let's name them after an aircraft, and then the other one was like, no, it has to be the ye olden slogan for AI.
Ye olden.
It sounds like a great bar.
You can name your children that if you're super rich and they never have to go to a job interview ever. You can name them whatever you want. They don't have to don't have to be like, hey, like they don't have to come into a room and like shake someone's hand and you can name whatever you want. Good on them. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, you make a great point, Mike, too, because I was thinking, like, what are the names that they threw out? Like, I mean, I was picturing what the crumpled papers in the trash, where they were like, oh no, well, that's ridiculous.
Clara was first off the list.
I mean, every couple has those conversations when you're gonna have a kid where one person gives a name and then the other person goes, no. So like
we're gonna find out it was Jeff. You're gonna find out there was a Jeff. It was Jeff.
Research into that.
19.
Yeah. Why not Jeff?
Chlorine.
Way too eccentric. Yeah, it's just, way too eccentric.
You don't want to pigeonhole him.
Sounds like a regular guy.
Just sounding
like a regular nice guy. Like a nice guy that would probably like loan you a tool and not, not immediately ask for it back. Something goofy like that.
Anyway, so that was my first one that I found that struck my
that's good.
interest. What about
my
you?
First one
that was cool.
Drew my attention was how to style biker shorts.
What?
I didn't see that. There's
a whole section about how to style. First of all, how to style. You got to go. I went really down far deep. I kept scrolling, and it goes like this. I'll just give you the top 5 so you can have some point of reference. How to style curtain bangs. Obviously, I looked at that one. How to style curly hair. How to style biker shorts. How to style box braids, and how to style long hair men. So obviously, I like how some of these lists are like, they're kind of like one thing. And then there's like one thing that like one of the 5 just kind of jumps in there. Like it's all about hair. We're styling hair. And these people are like, what about biker shorts? We got.
So how do you style biker shorts?
Yeah.
Well, I found, because so the reality of the situation is that it's a little less exciting than I was expecting. I was expecting, like, to your point, Karen, roller skates, maybe some like 80s spandex. Maybe we're putting this stuff together like in the 80s, like a cool, retro. It's more like the kids wear the shorts that are like a little shorter, and like they style them a lot of times with like a baggy sweatshirt. Apparently, I don't know, but that's what styling bike. That's what it is.
Okay.
So the headline of styling biker shorts is much funnier than the reality of how to style biker shorts. I was like, how to style biker shorts? I don't think that's an oxymoron.
Is this like and now I sound like my age, but is this like the Visco thing? Is that like?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'm so out of touch that I not only can't tell you if it is, but I also can't tell you if it relates to another style called Visco.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically what it is. Like, you want to wear the shorts are kind of shorter, but the top is longer, I think.
Okay.
That's what I've gathered.
So have you tried it yet?
Well, I mean, when I saw the headline, how to style biker shorts, I went to my closet. I got all my biker shorts.
all my biker shorts.
Yeah. And I realized it's not that kind of biker shorts.
Started styling them.
That was right. I was like, is this windbreaker? Like, what kind of windbreaker you gonna put on? Like, I had the hat, the hat with the flip up in the front, like the cool.
I'm sure Leanne loves that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just like, although I assume like I'm far enough away from all, not to date you guys either, but all of us are far enough away from those styles that they're going to come back around probably sooner rather than later. like some of the stuff that the kids are wearing now, like a lot of neon, brighter, baggy. So
yeah. I'm so excited to like bring all of my stuff back out from everything I've saved for the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, it took me 35 years. I'm back.
Yes. I'm going to be stylish again.
I knew it. Yeah. The kids are, they tight roll their pants again.
Yes.
And all that.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
with the high tops and the socks. Like, you got the high tops of socks. You get the pants tight. Oh, yeah. Did anyone buy stock in Z Cavarici yet? I'm going to think about going right from here. That's one of those that's going to take off.
Everything gold is new again.
Yeah, so that was my find. That was
That's great. I like
and
that.
the babies one. The whole section on babies. I did also noticed the whole section on babies. How many babies are they looking for? Man.
Yeah, those babies.
I want to know who the person at Google is who's like, because they have all the searches, right? But then I assume there's some person or group who has to make them into categories, right? So some guys like babies, like
let's start with babies.
Let's
do all the babies go in,
here.
or just animal babies, or babies of millionaires, or what? And then like you've got the definitions, which is the WAP is up at the front, obviously. And the reason that's on the top Google search for definitions is people that are parents over the age of 35. Like,
Yes.
What is this? It is not, no kids they already know. They don't need to. It's like people like me. It's like, I keep hearing people say this word. What is happening? I'm going to look it up.
What that means.
Yeah, that's true. My kids pulled that on me. They pulled that whole like, do you know what that means?
I like how they press you. Like, do you know?
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I have no idea.
Wait, did they then tell you what that means?
Yes, you're right. But I can't remember now. But I remember I was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Don't say it. Chick-fil-A is going to pull their sponsorship if you say it. So don't say it. For those of you, you could just join the Google search and go ahead and Google.
Yes. We'll put a link on our site. Mike, what did you find?
Well, in the category of like, I can't believe that people would actually Google this rather than just use their brains and think about this. Number 2 on the where to buy search is where to buy toilet paper.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I mean, you can pretty much go to like any store in any location in any town in any state and buy toilet paper.
Yeah. And if they don't have it, they're not going to tell you. Like, so they're Googling it. Like, this is like, we're out. Target, we don't want you to come to buy a bunch of other crap. We're out. Like, no.
Yeah, right. I mean, I that's got to be it, right? It's got to be an inventory thing. So in fact, it did spike in mid-March. So right about the time that people started stockpiling toilet paper, it spiked. And then, eventually by like late April, people realized that you can go anywhere to buy toilet paper. And by then,
like, that they have
was a little better.
Multiple stores. I don't know.
Where you have bought it before is probably still, if you couldn't get it, I mean, if you tried to go to Victoria's Secret during the pandemic, most likely they didn't have toilet paper.
Right. Or if you're a baby, to bring it full circle to the babies, if you're a baby and you've never purchased, if you're out by yourself and you haven't purchased toilet paper before and you're a baby, you might have to because you might know. Like, you
just broke the Google algorithm right there, Todd. Right. You're a baby and you're searching for toilet paper.
Right. They're like, whoa, what category should we put it?
I'm just picturing the baby. Like, I remember in Bugs Bunny cartoons, they'd have that guy that was like a criminal, but he looked like a baby, and so he pretended to be a baby in like a carriage. But he was like, and then he'd be smoking a cigar.
Right.
Like,
yeah, totally. He had his like little Tommy gun under the blanket and stuff.
Yes, that's the mental picture I got when you're talking about babies. Like, it's like this like baby looking old man with a cigar, like sitting in a computer being like, where can I get toilet paper?
That's the most random reference. That's the best reference. Remember that baby looked like an old man, but also a baby is a criminal? And we're all like, yes, I absolutely remember that. As soon as you said it, I'm like, holy crap, I forgot about that. A cigar.
That's the first mental picture that came to my head.
You're right. We're screwing up, Jeff, the list maker, the category maker's all screwed up now. It's like, we've been listening on the devices and these people screwed up everything.
But you're right, Mike. That is funny. I would think like, it's just not something I would think to Google. I mean,
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I guess think back to the panic we were all in March, right? Because when we had no idea, I mean, we have a couple of packs, I think, of like the really crappy generic toilet paper that we bought. in like a flurry of fear that we're going to be using it,
like
sitting in the
$60.
outhouse.
Like these are $80 a piece. Don't touch them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I guess, like March me may have been thinking like, oh my God, where could I get toilet paper that no one else is going to think to go to buy toilet paper?
That's because that's right. That's where those searches came from. Like, I'm going to find a place way down on like the 4th page of Google that no one knows about. It's like, you're like, wow, a Subaru dealership. You wouldn't even know, but they have it. They have a lot of it. No one's really going there.
Well, kind of in that same vein, the how-to ones were funny to me too. There was
yes,
how to wash your hands.
Yes.
Which I understand that maybe that was like a major, I know, we all had like, the celebrities on YouTube telling us how to wash our hands and all this stuff. And I get the kind of push for like, okay, 20 seconds. It's sort of like when your dentist says like, don't just do this and be done. You should probably be brushing your teeth for like, 30 minutes or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever they recommend. But the hand washing thing is just, so they had, I actually searched it, and the first article that popped up with instructions on how to wash your hands. These are the steps. Okay, soap and water for 20 seconds.
Check.
Wait.
There's more steps than that?
No, there's more.
Okay.
No, and they break it down. So first, wet your hands with what? With water.
I was going to do motor oil. That's
it says with water. Wet your hands with water.
Not truck stop toilet water, right?
See?
Yeah, with lemonade. That works. And then it says lather with soap, scrub, rinse, important step, and then dry. So I broke it down. It had like a whole bullet point list, and I was just picturing like if someone printed it out. Like,
you don't have to dry. That's a fallacy. You don't have to dry. You can just walk out with your hands
just wet. Do the handshake. Like,
yeah.
Wipe hands on pants.
Yeah.
They should have ranked those steps according to necessity, really, because it's like soap important, water next important, drying. So I mean, did they say like turn on faucet?
Yeah.
Find a river.
Find a river.
First.
Obtain hands to wash. Like.
Look down. Do you have hands? Yeah. If yes, check box. Choose your own adventure. We're going to step 2.
2 items on your body with fingers. Check. Yeah.
No, those are feet. You don't need to wash those. You can, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
Like right now.
But yeah, it's just picturing someone going, "How do you wash your hands?" Like.
This is how this country got into the problems it's in right now. A lot of people
like, what were you people doing before? Like, were people just walking around being like, the air will take care of it? Like, I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. Sir, they're just going to the fire department. They're like, can you just spray these?
I went in the sprinkler last year. I'm good.
Yeah, well, yeah. For most children between the ages of 4 and 6, that's probably about the extent of the washing they're getting anyway. It's like they went swimming in some chlorinated water from the city pool. Good enough.
Yeah,
you don't need to take a shower.
You killed some bacteria. That's good. Yeah. I tell you one how-to that I wish I had reviewed is how to cut men's hair at home. I don't know if
obviously me too.
Well, your hair, yeah, I mean, you can let it grow and grow and grow. As I let mine grow, it like goes out, like poofs out like this. So
have you been well, it looks I assume you've been getting haircuts, or is that you're doing?
No. Well, Jen cut my hair once, and it was I mean, it was in the middle, it was like in May. And so at that point I was like, I need a cut really bad. And I think I have plenty of time before I'll see anyone, in person. So let's just do it.
Nice lead in. It's really cool if you screwed up. You're probably going to screw it up. It's fine.
Not a problem.
Anyway.
Not a problem. I kept saying to
Anyway.
her, like, this is the moneymaker.
Anyway, do you know how to wash your hands too? Because after this haircut, I have to really work on some things. I bet there's a lot of how to wash men's hair or how to cut men's hair. It's like a lot.
Karen, did you cut John's hair?
I did. I mean, he had to keep it short. They have, for the fire department, they have to keep it short. So he did get clippers, which was like, those were tough to find for a while. That was like a spike in purchases.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
For men's clippers. So, and then he was funny at the beginning. He goes, I wonder if I could get some that would work for me and the dog. And I was like, I think we could probably
100%.
splurge on
exactly right.
two. Yeah, but so
He's like,
yeah,
he
did
two
it.
sets of clippers. That's ridiculous.
For a golden retriever. Like, I'm like, just, who has very like minimal hair.
The key is, I think he's probably right that you can get something. The key is, who's the lead? Like, do you get the dog clippers that also works for hair, or do you get the hair clippers that also works for dog? Big difference. Big difference.
Big difference. Yeah.
Well, and we had to get different ones because I had some here from when I went through chemo and I started losing my hair. I finally was like, let's just shave it. Let's do it. So I shaved it, and that was maybe like mid-February-ish or late February, I guess, is when I shaved the rest of it off. And I'm like, can't you use those? And he's like, no, I don't have the right settings. And I'm like, all right. So
like, those are girls' clippers, Karen.
Yeah, those are for your shiny bald head.
I'm a fireman. I need.
So he did most of it. And then I would do the back just to and around his ears where he couldn't really see. So he did a pretty good job, like getting around it and stuff. And like I said, I mean, I always felt like, well, there's one bonus of losing my hair this year is I haven't had to get a haircut. So all these people would be like, oh, my hair, like, I really wish I could get it colored. And it's like, I was like walking around bald for 4 months during the beginning of the pandemic. I'm like,
you're like, when you're not looking, I'm going to throw a rock through your front window for saying that. Anyway, it's like, my ends are so split. I'm like,
yeah, right.
No, I totally understood where people were coming from, but I was like, yep, don't have that problem. Like,
it's all about perspective, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's what this podcast is about in many ways.
This is true. Yes.
Perspective.
I cut Mikey's hair many times in college.
Yeah.
Right?
We did.
Yeah.
I would cut.
Todd was my barber.
I would cut a lot of, like, there was a point where I would cut a lot of
7 years.
I would cut like a fair amount of people's hair, like in the hallway of our dorm, just like set up a chair. And you're in college. I mean, I think the rule applies that like you said earlier, which is like, how bad can you screw up a college sophomore's hair?
Right.
And they can wear a hat 100% of the time. No one cares. Most of the time they're barely showered. Like, what? Yeah, not really.
Did you ever screw up someone's hair really bad?
Well.
No, Todd was awesome. I mean, he was like, we were trying to talk him into like leading, going off and running a barbershop, like starting a barbershop.
Wow.
And I don't think I screwed up anyone's hair that I recall. I mean, I certainly may have cut it differently than they envisioned it. That's possible. But the one thing, so we had this guy. So I think when we were sophomores, and it kills me because I can't remember his name. But Mike, there was at the other end of the hall, there was a Marine, the kid that was a Marine. He was in ROTC, and he was a hardcore like Notre Dame ROTC Marine, and he was really good guy, really, but he had like a high and tight haircut. And it was like getting long one time, and he saw me cutting hair, and he's like, "Hey, do you think you can give me like a trim because I need to have it?" Like he was doing something with and I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I probably had like a Miller Lite and a half in me, and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I've got the Marine's hair, the 6'4" Marine. Like, come on, have a seat," And like so I cut it, and it like kind of looked. I was like, "All right, I think I'm, it's looking pretty good." And he went away, and like 2 days later, he came back and he like found me in the hall, and he's like, "Hey man, you remember cut my hair?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah. He's like, "You see over here, it's like a little, like there's like there was a little bit like where it went in a little too far, like it was a little too broad." And he got called out by like his like his officer,
No.
like, why is your hair crooked or something?
No.
And he just like said it to me. And he's like, yeah, that was like, he said it was called unsat, like not satisfactory. And he's like, I mean, do you think you can like even it out of their side or something? And I'm like, maybe, I don't know. I already screwed it up once, like the Marine Corps. Like, I'm like, no. So that was the closest I got to like screwing up someone's hair. It's probably the most important haircut I ever did because protecting our country, but
Unsat.
yeah,
Wow.
this haircut is unsat. And I'm like, the rest of us idiots are at the other end of the hall, like, want a mullet this week? And like, dude, do a mullet this week.
You cut Charlie Brown's like t-shirt into the back of my head.
Yes, yeah. I did.
Freshman year.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I let my hair grow long freshman year, and I had this like, I think you did this, Todd. I think you cut it short, like around the back.
Total 90s. It was like
the
long hair and like cut the line with the shave below it.
Yeah.
And it grew long enough from the top to cover up the shave part in the back.
Oh yeah.
And then I lifted my hair up and you shaved out that part. So I had like brown stripe in the back of my head, covered up by the covered up by the rest of my hair.
They should not sell hair clippers to people in college. They shouldn't do that. Only adult, only like full on adults. Yeah. I cut that in your hair. I think I cut a couple of designs in people's hair.
Yeah.
It was an ND or something like that. And that was because I was not good. Now the people do the fancy. I was just like making it be like
the block.
Yeah,
block letters only. That's not. Yeah. It's
can you make it interlocked? Oh, it's interlocked. All right. On your head forever. That's
Do you ever cut your son's hair?
I do cut my son's hair. I cut, but my son has long hair. His hair's like down to his shoulder. So he's got like long hair. So I do cut it, but that is very nerve wracking because like, I feel like if you cut short hair, right, you're kind of just like getting it, you're kind of following the same thing that was done before you, hopefully by a more qualified person. And his is like, you kind of got like, I'm actually cutting it like with scissors and stuff. And I'm like trying to make it even. And like, it freaks me out. And he's got like fantastic hair. So I'm like every time I'm like, oh, if I screw this up, like that's, if my hair got screwed up, it'd be like a week and a half. I'd be like, oh, it's the same as it was.
yeah,
like,
right.
this is not. So yeah, I cut his hair and I, I would say for at least 10 years after college, I exclusively cut my own hair. I had never visited a barber or anything.
Uh-huh.
Then I started going to one, then pandemic hit and I started cutting it for a little while. Then I got sick of it. And now I have this mop on top of my head because I don't like, yeah.
Let it grow, baby.
Yeah. Not going to see anyone. I don't know. Except for the millions of people and the Chick-fil-A people watching this podcast. See anyone.
Oh, well, thanks you guys. This was fun. I appreciate looking back at some of the lighter stuff of 2020 just because obviously I think the all the other things got talked about ad nauseum. So it's kind of fun to talk about.
Not like Baby Musk and biker shorts.
Biker shorts.
No one talks about that.
Shorts. I'm totally looking up that whole
thing
after we're done.
Style biker shorts.
I'm styling my biker shorts tonight.
I will be Googling where I could buy toilet paper just to see what comes up. I'm so curious.
Next podcast we should do like what's the weirdest result you got during that Google search? Like page 5, like Ed's basement, South Side. Yeah.
Jim's lumber yard.
37th and Pershing. Come on down.
There were those bars or so. There was a bar here, maybe down near Olympia, where it was a big story that in March they would like, if you came in and you got a bucket of beer to take out, they would give you 2 rolls of toilet paper with it.
That's a win-win.
So yeah.
Right.
Because you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had that deal going for a while. And that was...
The people coming in to get the buckets of beer to go, though, they're like, they were already coming. So you probably don't need to like.
People coming to get the toilet paper, though.
Exactly. Those are the people like, right.
They were looking at it going, oh my God, we get a bucket of beer with these 2 rolls of toilet paper. This is awesome.
Yeah.
All I needed was to go to the bathroom, and now I'm like set for a week with the booze.
I come back to the car where the family's waiting. I'm like, here you go. And here we go. You're going to want to hold this in the back seat while Dad drives home.
Bonus prize.
Yes. Right.
Well, Happy New Year, you guys. And
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
I'm glad to get back to it.
Yeah, no, so nice to see you guys and catch up. So, and Mike, I'm glad you made it through Florida.
Survived. My goodness.
Yeah,
all right.
And made it home. Woo!
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, guys.
I
See it.